for Councilor Allen as the Neighborhood Preservation Chair and Development Chair, and I'm joined by Councilor Schultz and President Hudson and Councilor Paniagua. And so we have Michael Collins here to talk about what the proposal is regarding community centers.
Good morning, councilors. Thank you, Michael Collins, Commissioner, Neighborhood Business Development. Deputy Mayor Owens will be joining us shortly. She's coming from another meeting right now. So this proposal that we have in front of us is specifically to allocate $500,000 of American Rescue Plan Act funds to be able to support infrastructure related to the community centers in our neighborhoods that we've always known have been incredibly important parts of our neighborhood, but through the pandemic just proved themselves to be the vital institutions that people were able to turn to in crisis. What we know, myself as a former executive director within community centers, Deputy Mayor Owens, Councilor Paniagua, we know that there's always the possibility to get funding for programming. It is exceptionally difficult for these agencies to get the critical money that's needed to be able to have the infrastructure that simply allows the programming to exist. And so our intent here is to be able to do that. Specifically, what we're looking to do is to make grants that will address building improvements, other technical improvements, and be able to make sure that what we're able to do is provide opportunity for them to do that. We're not looking to cover any type of programming costs, computer centers, that type of thing. So, and we're also looking to support the smaller organizations. We've got a cap of up to $4 million. That sounds like a lot, but that's really what we believe will encapsulate all of the available neighborhood-based community centers. So with that,
Tell me which ones they are?
It'll be by application process.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so let me ask this question. So by RFP, does that mean like the city-owned community centers?
No, it'll be an RFP open to any neighborhood-based community center. Their operating costs cannot exceed $4 million. That gives us a ceiling so that some of those really on the neighborhood corridor community centers whose budgets are not, huge can apply for this fund. The actual capital funds will cap at $50,000 for each project. So that will give us a minimum or a maximum of 10 projects. So we're looking, people's boilers may need to be replaced. People's heating furnaces may need to be replaced. Maybe there's some roofing that needs to be done, that type of thing. Maybe people do want to expand a service provision for technology. We're not going to pay for computers, but we will help you build out the space. Maybe a server to help you maintain your data more efficiently. We'll help you do that. So we will issue RFP. People would have to answer the RFP, and then we would look at the merit of the projects.
And who made the decision?
NBD.
Who the RFP committee would consist of?
We have not structured the RFP committee yet, but certainly, obviously, counselors, from Purchase Department, and then through MBD, we've, counselors, as you know, we've got the experience of funding many of these community centers through the HUD grant, so we're able to make a good determination on accuracy of the project.
Yeah, I would certainly urge maybe the committee chair of this committee, Councilor Allen, to be part of it.
Absolutely.
The RFP.
Yep, we'll also hold
You're on the RFP, isn't
Yep.
President Hudson on the RFP?
Yep, this will go through the budget department just like every other one. And we also will hold a technical assistance session for agencies that need to learn a little bit more about how to apply.
I want to mention we're joined by soon-to-be-released City Councilor Joseph Driscoll.
So can I ask one more question? So is this is a new initiative, correct? Because normally all of the city-owned community centers are like the Southwest, the Northeast, Westcott, correct? So we're adding more into this loop.
Yeah, and again, to be clear, we don't support capital improvement for those agencies. We provide programming support. and support for the staff to operate. The city, because they're city-owned, will help in fixing some things that need to be fixed, like a roof, because we wouldn't want Southwest to be burdened with replacing that roof, which we did a few years ago. But this is to open it up, $500,000 to open it up, cap it at $50,000.
For each center, so you're thinking about 10?
Max,
Minimum, I
Keep
misspoke
getting that-
earlier.
Minimum, maximum, which one?
So at $50,000 cap.
It's a minimum of 10.
It would be a minimum of 10 projects.
but if someone doesn't need 50,000, then they'll free up
That
more
opens
money
up
for
more
other
money.
places.
Yeah.
So it gives, we have a bucket of $500,000. We'll look at the merit of all the applications, make sure that they're applying for things that are eligible.
I said one more, but I have one more. So I know that a lot of the facilities, when we talk about, this is a little different, but when we talk about CDBG funding, we can't apply it to them because they're not in that cycle. Is it the same, or is it just like wide open?
No, so Councilor, this will be different. To qualify for CDBG funding, you need to have an application in during that annual funding cycle. And frankly, since that is through HUD really wants to support housing-related work. And so we're a little maxed out when it comes to the non-housing
But this
related
is
stuff.
ARPA.
So this is ARPA, so therefore this would be open to the agencies that traditionally, it's not that they can't apply, have not applied to
But there will be a
CDBG.
window of application. It won't be a revolving process. There'll be a window to apply, people can apply, and then we'll look at the projects.
Okay, just so the small facilities like Faith Hope can apply for this?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. And we intentionally capped that operating so that we can, while every organization that runs centers feel they probably could use this, they have some flexibility in the ability to write for capital funds, to seek other capital funds. These smaller neighborhood-based centers don't have a lot of capacity to do major applications, and it's a small amount of money that a neighborhood-based center could use.
So there'll be like a sort of a synopsis of exactly who's eligible and who isn't eligible.
Oh,
right?
yeah, in the RFP.
Okay.
And what projects are eligible and not eligible.
Okay, and then will you come back to the council to approve each particular grant, or what?
No, we're asking, just like we do for,
Just for,
we would
blanket.
have a review committee look at the totality of the applications and make a decision.
Does the applicant have to own the building that they operate in?
They have to own it, and I can't remember the terms in here, or be in a lease agreement for a minimum of, I can't remember the years, but it's in the RFP.
Okay.
Yeah, and we have to
Share that
see
with us.
that lease agreement.
So Councilor, for example, if they need an upgrade at a phone system, that's something that will go with them if they were to
Exactly.
relocate.
So is that going to be part of the terms? If you don't own the building, you want to fund something that can travel with them or have a lease that is X
It's
amount of
for the
years?
facility, the money is to benefit the facility. If the agency left and someone came in there, what we invested in would benefit that agency's work in that building.
So building specific, okay,
Absolutely. Property specific.
okay.
And it would have been, and the reason, we're talking about digital divide, and I get it, but I didn't want to fund $500,000 worth of computer labs. I want, and that is consumables that aren't stationary with a facility, but a server is, and it increases the capacity. But people need boilers, and they need replace heaters and electrical, panel upgrades and that type of thing. That's really what we're looking to do.
So not-for-profits, do you designate?
The definition is you're a not-for-profit. Municipalities are not eligible. You have to be a human service agency, so a university not-for-profit is not eligible.
Okay,
Yeah, it's specifically neighborhood-based community
Human
centers.
services, human service.
But they can be renting or leasing.
They can be
from a-
rented,
Wait,
but they have to
wait.
prove, they have to
Right,
prove it.
but wait, they can be renting or leasing from the municipality.
Yes, they can be in a lease agreement. The point is that they provide a vital service. And while money has even been hard for them operationally, it has been very hard capital-wise and repair. And so we're looking to help them because they never shut down. They kept going. And so the wear and tear, we're hoping to supplant some of that.
So demographically, it doesn't, if they deal with just, do they have to just deal with youth or? No, so anyone?
No. And most of our community centers thankfully serve anybody that comes in the door.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll work hard to make sure everybody knows about it. We'll encourage people to get assistance in writing the application.
When do you have a sense of when does the RFP will be out, or?
We're looking to, we're probably gonna miss construction season, or outdoor construction
Yeah,
season.
for outdoor, yeah,
Looking for August, September at the latest, once we get.
To get started, the
Yeah.
application process.
yeah, for first draft of the RFP is complete, so, but which means that, of course, we've not then had a chance to send it, like procurement hasn't had a chance to look at it yet. We wanted to meet with you all, get this input, so that we could finalize things to send over to procurement.
Any other questions?
I think I heard you guys said that you already entered an agreement with these various individual centers, right? So, with that being said, you guys are asking for also funds to be used to enter an agreement with various community center or agencies, whatever, and, so there would be a contract connected to it. So the things that you guys mentioned, let's see, I think should be put in, you know, yeah, it should be put in, like some of the things that you all mentioned as the contractual stuff should be put in into the letter, because it sounds like it's gonna be a contract.
We would have to enter into contract to be able to,
Yeah,
so they can get the money to procure for the development.
yeah, they're gonna.
It's similar to it's very similar to what we do with the CDBG home dollars.
Yeah, so you're gonna be requesting use of the funds to enter agreement with various community centers, to whatever you guys.
Yeah, so, Clerk, I'm happy to work with you on a revision to the letter to make sure that it meets your needs.
Yeah, and with that being said, it sounds as though as there's agreement attached to, what each one of those agencies got to, they have to agree to something.
Just like we do for CDBG.
Yeah, so, yeah,
Always.
So we come for approval for the CDBG.
they are named in CDBG, and it's all, yeah, it's a little different, we can talk about it.
Yeah, well, very happy to work with your office to get the letter to a way that works.
Okay. Any questions from my fellow counselors at all? I appreciate your efforts in this regard. These centers certainly need, I know one particular one that needs a boiler, as a matter of fact, on
I know
Park
a few,
Street.
yeah.
So, it's one of those things that needs to be addressed, and I'm sure with your experience, Deputy Mayor, you realize that this infrastructure is important in order to run these programs
It's
for
critical.
these people.
There's no programming if the building lights aren't working.
How are you looking to advertise this so that they know?
So we'll advertise through our normal, we'll take a bid out through our normal procurement through Tim's office. We'll get it out through NBD. We'll make sure all of you know it, so neighborhood-based centers.
So-
And particularly the technical assistance. I'm anticipating there are some smaller organizations that are gonna need help submitting an application. So we want to make sure that information is out there so they can get the help they need to submit it.
Okay.
We don't want that to be the hindrance, but we have to make sure that we're allocating money, as the council always says, this money, to make sure that it's managed properly. Yeah.
One more. Can I ask that maybe when this RFP goes out, because I know it goes on our website, I know you tell us, I know the process, but there's a bunch of pieces missing that doesn't get out to, like the communities. Can we maybe use some of the community papers, like the one that they have used, what's his name?
CNY Latino?
That one, and maybe Urban CNY, and maybe
You can put it
just
on Facebook too.
give people
Yeah.
opportunity to.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay. Not a problem.
And what's the timeline for spending the money? Do you have like 1 year, 2 years?
Well, so certainly for all of ARPA, it needs to be spent by December 31st, 2026. So we've got time for that. We'll evaluate within the projects that we've got. Our We would not set that as a contract deadline because we need to make sure that if for some reason someone has trouble with it, we'd be able to reallocate. So
Yeah.
we'd have it much earlier than
We
that.
anticipate people are going to run into supply and contract issues like everybody else, so we want to give them some flexibility. We're going to lose an exterior season for construction, but interior repairs can go on all the way through. Which I'm hoping a lot of this is, boilers and heaters and some of that stuff that has to happen. Make sure the lights are on. Yep.
Okay, once again, are there any more questions?
Yep.
Sorry, Pat.
Yep, one more question, one more question. So we know, you stop.
We
Counselor-
appreciate, we appreciate the interest in this, absolutely.
Question that I want to ask, because we're talking about community centers, and we're talking about maybe some internet or helping with that type of a project. So would it be feasible maybe to have them connected like we have the schools? The schools, so that if there's a need for the people to be able to use their Wi-Fi or whatever, if we run into that position again?
So there are 5 community-based centers now through program Gen Tift collaborated that have hotspots now.
Right, hotspot.
Right, they have those now.
They do, but what about the new ones coming on? Would they be able to equip them with hotspots?
It would not be through this process. So the expense related to that is much greater than what we're looking at right here. However, through the broadband initiative,
Right.
that we've talked with the council about in general, and I believe is still coming
And
forward.
we're
there
really
might be
looking,
something.
Councilor Hudson, through this to make repairs that somebody can't decide and come along and take it up and leave. So like a dish or something like that. The person in relationship, we spend money to be able to install it. The relationship goes away and then
Right,
the
but I
owner
don't, I
of the
don't
property.
think the kids, the school districts don't have a dish attached. They have something that people can connect into.
I don't think this is the right project for that. This is really bricks and mortar infrastructure help, and we don't have a lot of money. And so if I can get as many mechanicals fixed for these organizations, which is the money they will whether it's Spectrum or National Grid or somebody, there may be other avenues. Fixing boilers, it's hard to find that money. It's hard to find money for roof repairs. It's hard to find money for increasing accessibility with handles and stuff like that. So here we have an opportunity to really hone in on enhancing the facility structure, and that's where we want to focus this money.
Now, the servers, you said it would be okay. Servers.
A server, yes,
Yeah.
because in our mind, a server is a major piece of equipment that will increase the capacity of the
I
organization
know an organization that needs that, yeah.
to keep track of their service provision.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
To ask one more time.
One more take.
I think President Hudson and I both remember former Counselor Seals and his parking lot questions, and I think, so, yeah, I know, you had about 3 of them, President Hudson.
Wait, I got one more.
So I appreciate you being here, and I'll call this hearing at an end.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Councilor.
But. So wait, where are you going? Where are you going?
They got one. They got one last year, yeah.
He talked to me before this.
So are you already like getting your feet wet?